Having them fall hundreds of feet into the river, that'll do. Typically, round chutes are used for static line jumps, not free fall jumps. There's not much maneuverability you can do with a round chute. Now, the thing about a tranquilizer gun is, like, the dude can wake up. You didn't eliminate the threat. The guy can wake up and come back after you. So you're just postponing him having to deal with him again. Oh, coming in right away, we see a AC-130 gunship. Absolute epic platform. Vietnam, they used to call those the salad makers just because they would turn the jungle and would look like a tossed salad because they would just open up with their firepower on the left side of their platform and just annihilate. Very, very great asset to use. As guys on the ground, we always appreciate it when these things are overhead. I love it. I mean, here's our guy, Snake, right? Like, he's a rebel, he's a badass, he's the anti-hero, if you will, and here he is smoking a cigar after he's about to put on oxygen, or before he's about to put on oxygen. Now, at this level, this high-altitude deployment that they're going to have, there's a whole workup you have to do in order before you even jump from an altitude of that high. So, and you're definitely not smoking a cigar before you do that. Plus, tossing a cigar on the deck, it's kind of a disrespect to the crew right there. You would never do that.
Opening rear hatch.
So now an AC-130 gunship being used as a platform for the skydiving platform, I've never heard of it. Doesn't mean it can't be done. That'd be, I mean, I guess technically you have one guy go out the back, you could. That's typically not what they're designed for. So I've never heard of it happening. Usually the back end of those things are full of ammunition and everything else they need to do for their job. There's not a lot of room in there to begin with. Skydiving from this altitude is cool, in my opinion, cool the first time. There's so much that goes into it. Every time after that, it's like, oh, it's cold because every 1,000 feet is 3 degrees less. There's so much can go wrong when you got oxygen, you got bundles in between your legs, you've got weapons on your sides. If anything isn't strapped tight to your body, it could put you into a spin. So there's a lot that can go wrong with this. It is one of the most iconic methods of insertion. Love the somersaults on the way out. Would never happen tactically. But it is good for show, though. So very dynamic Hollywood intro. Would expect that from a video game. I'm surprised I haven't done a movie with this whole franchise yet.
His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov.
So this would be cool to actually do some research and see how much of this is actually true versus how much is made up for the game. I'm sure there's a little bit of both. I love when video games incorporate real world history, so it actually gives the players an opportunity to learn.
President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the
1962 Bay of Pigs for America. We had massive uproar against it, blockades, and for the Russians trying to put missiles 90 miles off the coast of Florida. And just, a year ago, Russia sailed the Soviet ship right off the coast of Florida that you could see from the beach, and nobody really said a thing. Times have changed.
to continue working on.
I like the backstories. I like the history. It definitely gives perspective and depth to the game that you're about to play. As far as for action, there's not much. I got to wait through this. But it is interesting, though, I do admit. Back to the skydiving. Okay, free fall, 120 miles an hour. Our character's going head to earth, so he's going well over 120 miles an hour. You easily be hitting 220, 240 in that. Playing out, Boxman, wave off.
Get back to the west.
Good graphics from skydiving in, though. I will admit that. Shoot deploys. And we have a round shoot. All right, typically round shoots are used for static line jumps, not free fall jumps. There's not much maneuverability you can do with a round shoot. A round shoot for static line is where you'd be at the back of a C-130. You attach the tether, the cable to the inside, and as you jump out, 4 seconds later, you'll feel the canopy come off your back, goes around, and you have minimal steering that you're able to do with it as you come in. For a free fall one, like what our character Snake is actually doing, you would have it deploy out into a square canopy, and the military ones are very large in comparison to the sport ones. And then you've got toggles where it actually the square canopy actually acts like an airplane wing. Pretty much what an airplane wing can do, you can do with a canopy. So it's a ram air parachute. Air comes from the front, inflates it, and then you can guide that thing down. And we would train on the jump team. We would train to land inside of a 10-yard circle, or equivalent to like a parking spot. Basically, is what we would really try to get it down to. But we had the area of a 10-yard circle that we had to land inside with our sport rigs, which you can do the same thing with a military rig. It just takes a lot of time to practice. With this round rig, he doesn't have very much maneuverability because of the way it's designed, unlike our squares that we had. All right, here we go. We're on the ground. Character's cached, ditched his parachute, moving about. I like the fact that he's kneeling, crouching, minimizing his signature. Character's overexposing himself. Okay, so after we come up, we knife kill the enemy, that guy. I would actually drag him as quiet as I could behind the rock in the tree because we have two other bad guys right there that the foliage is not that tall where it's not like they're not going to see this guy. All right, so we come back to him. Yeah, there we go. All right, there we go. So he is moving on off to the side behind the rock. Now, with our limited gear of what it looks like we have, I start going through this guy's stuff, getting his firearm, getting his magazines. If he's got a radio with an earpiece, I grab that so I can start listening to what's going on. Start going through this guy's stuff and figuring out what the gear that he has can help you. All right, so this one, we just walk right out. Where we were being all stealthy and secretive around the first guy, this dude, we just walk right out of the woods right on top of this guy after he's across a clearing. We've got nothing on us but it looks like a knife, and this guy has a gun, and it's not exactly the best tactics on that one. We take him down, we don't do anything with him, and there's a third person 20 yards away, it looks like. So improper use of dead space to walk up to this guy. This guy could turn around at any single time and see us sneaking up on him. What we should have done is actually use the trees and use the rocks as dead space to come up on this guy silently and quicker than what we did. And then at the last minute, pop out from behind. Good takedown. Good takedown for a third guy. So there's a rubber duck in the middle of the jungle. Got our knife, an MK22 tranquilizer gun. Put your enemies to sleep. Okay, that's a unique choice of firearm to have in the middle of a jungle. Again, we're not using any kind of dead space. We're not using any kind of concealment. We're just running around right in the middle, and there's still bad guys around. So one thing that we actually did and made sure of as we were operating is that every aspect of our face was covered. And it's something you had to reapply through the course of days. So on our character right here, like you see, his neck is flesh colored, his face is half painted. The way his face is painted is somewhat correct, somewhat improper, because you actually want to make your three-dimensional face look 2D, and there's a certain way to apply face paint for that. So now, shooting through this foliage with a tranquilizer dart, you got to get that barrel almost overexposed outside of this, because if any one of these leaves hit the dart, it's going to alter the trajectory of it. And what is the distance? What is the max effective distance of a tranquilizer dart anyway? These are some pretty legit shots that our character's doing, especially when you're dealing with wind and foliage in front of you. So much for having to deal with those bad guys again later. Having them fall hundreds of feet into the river, that'll do. Make our way fast across that bridge is exactly why we're overexposing ourselves. Anyone could see us and just take shots at us because we have no concealment, no cover on that thing. We got to the other end, and yep, we got a bad guy that we're shooting a tranquilizer dart into. Now, the thing about a tranquilizer gun is, like, the dude can wake up. You didn't eliminate the threat. The guy can wake up and come back after you. So you're just postponing him having to deal with him again. Maybe you guys in the comments can help me. Is our character's arms tattooed black, or is he wearing a shirt underneath? I would genuinely like to know. I kind of chuckle at the fact that we're using a pair of binoculars 50 yards away from, not even 50 yards, 30 yards away from where we're looking. All right, there we go. So we move around the opposite side of the tree, get behind the rock, proper use of dead space. We've got two bad guys out there. Good headshot. Now, I'm curious why the second one wasn't alerted at the first guy going down. Good takedown, though, of the second one. I do like our character is crouching down, minimizing his profile, using dead space and running amongst everything. Good. Keeping in the shadows. Love it. Good job not exposing yourself going up the stairs. Get up those stairs quickly. I would duck behind better cover than that.
Who's that?
We go up the stairs to come back down. What was the point of that? Was it to get in high space and look around?
What's wrong?
I like how our character's moving, but we've got a lot of wasted movement, I feel. Like we're just going around in circles a lot. I am curious how many tranquilizer darts we have, and to make sure that we have enough in case we need them to get our irate hostage. I like that. I like the fact that we can run, walk, crouch, crawl, all good aspects. Ooh, it's tough. Hiding out underneath something like that, you're taking a gamble that you don't get exposed, otherwise you are a sitting duck. I actually like the graphics a lot. The graphics have come a long way, obviously, from PlayStation 1, the game that I originally bought. I like in the skydiving, you could see the detail. You could see the wind blowing around the pants and the jackets and stuff. We were tasked to go in and go rescue a hostage. So all it really was running around in circles and shooting bad guys with a tranquilizer dart, which is interesting in and of itself. I would like to see more from this game just because it is such a good title. I'm not really crazy about this particular part of it. Thanks for hanging out with me on Experts React. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more breakdowns and reactions from your real-life experts. If you'd like to follow me, you can find me on Instagram under official Geoff Reeves. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.